Hey y'all, welcome to Skyrim Scripting. On this episode, we're looking at how to take your mod and make it so that it can upgrade itself. Upgrade the version for the users. So we made this wonderful mod, AddSpellMenu, and folks apparently are using it because they reported that they noticed that it's a full ESP. It cannot be flagged as an ESL Lite plugin, of which you can have over 2,000 of. It's a full ESP, and users can now only have up to 255 of those. And I don't know if our mod is important enough to make it onto their 255 list. So we want to make this an ESL, and what we did last episode, so we did that. So that was episode 6 of the series. So this episode, I want to look at how to make our new mod, the ESLified version, work for folks who already have save games with the old version. Now, only 400 people or something, 405 people have downloaded this mod, and I don't know how many of them have save games. I don't know how many of them are using it and are attached to their player already. Usually folks know that to upgrade a mod, you may have to start a new save game. And so I don't know how important this is, but what I do know is this screencast and this mod are all for educational purposes. Hooray! So let's actually make it work. So the way we're going to do this is we are going to install this plugin. So we're going to install the mod as it is on Nexus. We'll run the game there and we'll save it. We'll save it in whatever state. Maybe we'll still have the pack, or maybe we won't still have the pack that has the spell tomes and stuff in it. We'll try at least one save in one state and see what it looks like. We'll save it, we'll upgrade, we'll see what does and doesn't work, and we'll figure out how to perform an upgrade. Cool? Cool. Let's do it. Let me go small. Bye. And I'm small now. Okay, let's download this. I think I already have. I think I legit just did. So I won't add to my my download. I won't add to my own download count. I extracted a bunch of Skyrim BSAs into this folder to look at them. That's what that was. So here we have it. Sweet. Now let me go to my mods folder. Cool. It doesn't have the real AddSpellMenu. That's great. Let's go to our mod organizer 2. Mod organizer 2. If we refresh this, wish I could zoom it out. I actually made the text big so it works better for y'all. It says unmanaged AddSpellMenu, but where's that coming from? We do not have that in our mods folder. I think the mod organizer is confused. I think that is confused. Oh, I know what happens. I use Vortex to actually push this down into the data directory. Let me pull it on out with Vortex. Okay, cool. If you rewind, you'll see I had a whole section here about unmanaged mods. That's because I pushed everything in with Vortex. I was testing. Testing. So let's install from file. This is the original V1. Let's turn it on. Make sure the plugin's on. And run the game. Remind me that the creation kit here might not be configured anymore to save in the AddSpellMenu. Also, what I did when I paused was I undid all of my changes to AddSpellMenu. Oh, you can't see it right now. I moved the folder. But I took us back to where we ended last episode, and we ESLified everything, so I've made no changes since then. Alright, so we've got the pack. Here, you want to click that? Here's the pack. Let's grab search object and the search and the regular tome. So we'll grab both tomes. So I'll have the pack in my menu, which should have that AddSpellMenu in it. I've got the search activator, as I've been calling it. It's really not an activator. That means something different in Skyrim, but whatever. That's what we called it. And we learned one of the powers. And of course we can make sure it works. Ooh, cool. And we should also see, because this is version 1, that the add spell menu has search, which we haven't learned yet, but it doesn't have the toggle that we did. Let's do an explicit save, so it's easier to find. New save. Let's upgrade. And let's see if anything's weird. So I'm just going to remove this. Boop, boop. I'm going to pull it over from where I store my stuff. Now it's there. Before I forget, I'm going to tell Creation Kit to make all of its changes in AddSpellMenu. God, that's so annoying. Cool. That's what I get for making the font like really big for screencasts. It doesn't work in that little box. It just doesn't work. And now if I go to the Git, you'll see no changes since ESL. So let's run the game. So we're running with the ESLified version. Let's take some notes. Okay. Okay, one thing, the pack was added again. We already have the pack. So all the stuff is gone. All the stuff is gone. The pack is four things, and everything we had in our inventory is gone. Wow, I thought the power would still be there. Oh. I'm a fucking idiot. I never load games. I don't play this game. I just COC into it. I'm such a fucking idiot. Let's see if the pack gets added. It shouldn't. So the pack doesn't get added because that one is on init. And we're not handling player load. And on init is already run for the quest. Cool, we still have the spell tome. But we don't have the pack anymore. So we have the spell tome, but not the pack. And if we go to our powers, we do still have this. Now let's try it. Let's go to the teleport spells. Pack wasn't added again, but pack is now missing, along with along with the activator. Spell tome still present and accounted for. But here's a problem when we did this. And we look in the teleport spells, it shows us all of them, like as if we flipped on that value. Now let's use our spell to try and toggle that. First let's see, show global vars. Okay, requires spell tome is right there. Like right there, and it says 1. Let's try and like turn it off and on again or something. Oops, 1. There's the spell that we made. We can grab search if we want it. Cool, let's cast it. Now only shows all spells. Alright, that wording is wrong. Wording is weird when you disable require spell tomes. It should say like AddSpellMenu now shows all spells, not now only shows all spells. That's some copy paste. Now let's do this. And now it's supposed to show all spells. Okay, it does. Let's see if we can turn it off now. Cool, now it's supposed to only show ones with associated tomes. It's still showing all of them. So it's still showing all of them. So the main things are, our stuff is gone, except for the spell tome. So our activator is gone, and the pack. So the pack and the activator are gone. There's this, and maybe most importantly, the spell tome requirement toggle doesn't work, is off by default. Can't seem to turn it on. Cool, so what could be causing these things? Well, the most obvious thing is that we compacted all of our form IDs. So the actor may still have the old forms in their inventory. We should maybe rip them out of there, because what we probably want is to see what, if it's possible, see what they had in their inventory with the old form IDs and map it to the new ones. But maybe most importantly, figure out this requirement. So what is going on with that? Let's see where we cast the spell and where it checks on that requirement. So here's where we list our search. So this does like list mods. Let's go to search, search mods and spells. It'll show spells in mod. That says, okay, it calls get all mods and populate container with matches, and it passes this only, this requirement right here. It passes this argument, only show spells with spell tomes, right here, and it passes along the quest only show spells with spell tomes. So it's a property that we made on the quest. It's a full property. Has a getter, and it points to this global variable. So this global variable is probably not hooked up correctly. What we can probably do is look at what the global variable is supposed to be and look at our save game. So let's look at what the global variable is supposed to be. Open up on another screen. And open up on the other screen again. There's a global, and it's 802. Let's check our save game. Script instances, we want our quest, so add spell menu, we want the quest script. Here's a global variable. It's a reference to form number 2DBC. Well, that's wrong. These are really good examples of the pros and cons of connecting properties to CreationKit. It's really convenient, but there's definitely pros and cons. Now when you store something in like a, if we just store the IDs inside functions, then those don't get stored in the save game, and those IDs will change as the script changes. Currently searching for spells. That's just a boolean, that's cool. Mod name, cool. Pack activator ID. That 25,500, that doesn't look right at all. So there's a pack activator ID in the quest as well. The quest. Oh, we got rid of the pack activator ID. So that's fine. Some stuff is going to hang around, and there's really nothing that we can do about it as far as I know. But that's fine. Let's close SSE edit. And instead of this referencing the mod property right here, which is using the wrong one here, let's just move this to the forms script that we made. So let's have, let's not even have this property. Let's go to search and list, and let's have it get this value from maybe we'll keep it coming from the quest because that's a nice interface, and we'll change where this comes from. Because right now we have this thing called forms, which returns other stuff than forms. It returns object references, and we could have it return a global variable. What we could do is we could have this thing that right now we just have returning some stuff based on identifiers. We can have it return a global variable function get spell tomes required global and function, and it'll just return get mod form whatever it is now as a global variable, and then we can call that from here. So what we'll do is I put it here. My autocomplete doesn't seem to work within functions and properties. Say AddSpellMenu forms dot get the global. And this logic was wrong anyway. It just returns as a boolean an integer. That works, but we should have a more explicit code and say that it equals 1. That'll be easier for people to read and understand. It just happens that 0 and 1 work and get automatically casted to a boolean. It works. So that might work. I don't know if we need to do anything else for that. Oh, we need to get the actual ID. So we just had this in SSE edit. Let's grab it again. I know, I'll support you. 802. 802, 802, 802, 802, 802, 802, 802. Let's load up and let's go to our save game again, and let's try and use the spells and see if it will respect our global now. Because again, in the save game, the quest script is hanging out, and the quest script is in the save game with a reference to the global variable, but an old form ID. So that's just going to hang out forever. That's fine. New users who install the mod won't get that. And then next we'll put stuff back in your inventory if you had stuff in your inventory. So now if we do teleport spells, it should only show us the normal ones, and it does. Let's get the special spell from us, and activate that power. Switch things over. Now only shows all spells. So annoying. Now, I was playing this, I was fixing this before. Now shows spells with associated. It's this one. Now shows all spells. Cool. That's some of the stuff that we'll have to deal with translations for, but we can do that later. Even those without associated spell towns, cool. Nice, it works. And if we turn it off, we switch back to that power. We had to wait for it to recharge. Cool. We don't have a pack, but we still have this spell tome to search, which is really nice. We can just make sure that search respects this stuff too. Search for fire. Search all spells. Should come back in like 3, 2, cool. And now if we toggle this, and we search for something like fire, and we say all spells, this will give me enough time to drink my tea. Searching all spells for fire, this may take a while. It's probably gonna finish in like 3, 2. Cool. And you can see here's a bajillion different things with fire. They're all the different spells that are used underneath the covers, if you will, under the hood. Okay, let's save what we've done so far. Fixed global variable. Let's actually make a branch. And we already are ESLifying things. We should have, when we wanted to start releasing a new version, made a new branch, like so. And now all of our commits will go into v1.1. We should have done that for the ESLify one. I could do that via like the console or something, but let's not worry about it. For fixed global variable for toggling spell tome requirement when upgrading to v1.1, which is what we'll call it. Cool, and we'll publish this branch. So now this branch is up on the website. Okay, let's cross that off. There's a weird wording. We'll look at that in the game to make sure it got figured out right. That got fixed. Now what I want to see is if we install the game before, what were its form IDs? And can we go through the like users pack when we load a game? And are those old form IDs still there? And can we get them? Because the forms will be null. I want the IDs. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Let's find out if it's possible. Let's make a player ref so that we can, like a player script, so that we can handle on load. Because right now we're not handling the load game. not drinking, sorry. Add spell. Let's go to our quest. Let's make a quest alias, new reference, player ref, fill types, specific reference, select forced reference. Player ref, ref. Sell any, pre-populate with player right now. There it is. And let's make a script. We'll call it like AddSpellMenu player script. AddSpellMenu player script. Reference alias. We should go add documentation strings so like everything, because this is educational. Save. We have that script now. Cool. If we go in here, we can find our player script. And we can on player load game. Let's just have it like have some script where we handle all of our versioning for future versions. Let's just do like a new file, AddSpellMenu versioning. I don't know. Cool. So we've got versioning, and we could have like check for upgrade on load or something. Function upgrade if necessary on load. It doesn't know that it's on load, so we'll just call it upgrade. And let's make a function that's like get version. And of course we didn't have this before, and I should pitch that we always do return, say 1.1, we'll return a float. We'd return a string. Number's fine. Upgrade. So here's where we'll do stuff, and let's call this AddSpellMenu versioning dot upgrade. Cool. So this will trigger on player load. So to function like upgrade to v1 1. Just use integers throughout the whole process. That's not semantic versioning, but right now it's just if get version, which could be none, not equal to, then we'll call upgrade to v2. And I don't think this will crash if get version doesn't exist. I think it'll just return none. For the purposes of a video game working well, Papyrus is pretty lenient about those types of things. It's not strict. Upgrade to v2. We need the form IDs, the old ones. So I have a screenshot of them. I think these are the old ones, not the new ones. Oh, and these spell tomes probably work because they're such low IDs. But the activator, and the pack were high IDs, and so they didn't come over. So let's add them to forms. We can have them over an upgrade because it's really only relevant for upgrading. Or we could just have them in line here. First, let's see if we can get the forum IDs at all from the player. So we'll say actor player equals game get player. Might just crash if you try and go through their inventory. number of items equals player dot get num items. You can get the number of reference aliases. That's neat. Int index equals 0. This sucks. I don't think it's going to work. While index is less than number of items, and while index plus equals 1, player dot nth. Yeah, it's get nth form. And it's not going to be a form. Alright, I've got a different idea. Alright, check it. And at least one of you probably already thought of this. What we can't do is see if they've got these ghost form thingies. What we can do is see if they have the spell tomes, and see if they have... They can't have the activators. They can't have them because they don't exist anymore. So, like, and the spell tomes are fine. Just never mind. Maybe we'll just give them a pack again, but we'll give it to them with just the activators. Okay. So let's, like, one after another say upgrading to V2 and give them the pack. That's good enough. So we'll say object reference pack equals AddSpellMenu forms. Okay, the pack goes to the container. So we'll give them the pack. But we'll do it after our notification. You okay, puppy dog? And this is a form. What's up, pup? Good girl, you wanna come up here? Pack container equals AddSpellMenu forms get pack container instance. Okay, and from that we'll remove the 2 spell tomes because the spell tomes should be fine. So we need the form for the spell tomes. Okay, form list spell tome equals AddSpellMenu forms get list spell tome form and let's go get those right now. So those will just be forms. So we'll give them a new pack that just has the activators in it. Because we don't know if they, no matter what, they either took the activators out or we didn't, or they didn't. We have no idea and we can't check. Let me know if you know for sure if there's a way that we can. But using SKSE to get the forms from their equipment, we would just get a form, not an ID. So let's return get mod form And then this one, get the search one. Oh, that one's supposed to be called search. All right, let's just grab them from SSE edit, or Xedit if you will. I don't need my screenshot anymore. Close that. These are misc items. What is the tomes that we want to take out of there? Those are books. I'm gonna put this off screen so I can copy them. The tomes, the one for listing is D69. The one for searching is D68. So we can get this pack container from the pack container. We will remove those. Pack container, move item, list spell tome, pack container, move item, search spell tome. I could go either way on this. Cool. We remove those. Grab the pack. We say we're upgrading to V2. And then immediately after we give them the pack. We could rename it too if we really wanted to. We could we call it like new AddSpellMenu pack, but adding new pack. Build. I thought we fixed this last time. I have to add a yes. I think it's that slash, not the other one. I don't know. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Let's just check in time. Not bad. 38. We're gonna load the game. We'll see what the load experience is like. And then of course we're gonna run a fresh game and make sure that that works. So watch the top left. I might debug this. Okay, we've got AddSpellMenu on. We built it okay. Make sure we've got our player script. Has our on player load game, which performs an upgrade. This might break. Let's see what happens. Let's boot up the game. Let's use the debugger. See if there's a Papyrus error, or an error that gets reported by Papyrus rather. Let me disconnect while we initially load. No, we need it while it loads. because on player load game is what we want. And we could add some tracing if we have trouble with this. Some debug trace. Variable pack activator on script not found within actual object. The variable will be skipped. It's found. That's fine. We could always get rid of this. Let's go to our quest. First let's close it, and I want to add debugging for when the game loads. But here's the error messages for the quest. So we can say bool AddSpellMenu requires tome var. That was what was used behind the scenes for an auto property. String mod name equals I'll just get those out of the papyrus logs for folks. There's no reason not to have those. Pack activator ID. I think that was an int. Cool. Save, save, save. Let's go to our player script and say, it's on player load game, right? I mean, we did the right thing. Debug.trace on player load game. Upgrade. Debug.trace. Upgrade. Duh, this code doesn't work. Duh, we need the previous version. And so we'll get that from the quest. So we'll have a string or an int or a bool. We'll say int current mod version equals 2. Has to be a property. I don't know if auto read-onlys can update. Here's what we'll do. We'll call it an auto. And on init, we'll set current mod version to 2, and that will get incremented every time. But we'll always know that the previous one, we'll be able to know if it was different. So what we can do is, let's get rid of this player script trace because I kind of trust it. Current mod version. AddSpellMenu quest script mod quest equals AddSpellMenu forms. Can you not get the mod quest from that yet? Did we not add that? It's not so much a form, it's a script, so really this is starting to have not a great name. But we can return this function get mod quest script global. We'll return get mod form as that. Let's do our SSE edit again. And just get the form ID of the quest. D6A. I'll put that on another screen. D6A. Yep. You go outside, pup? We can do that. You just hanging out? What you doing? She's gone outside like a trillion times today. Okay, cool. Cool. Let's just do if the current mod version is not 2, then we'll upgrade to 2. And this logic can change, and we'll check previous versions and previous versions so that if you install 1 and then you install 5, we'll go from the 1 to 2 to 2 to 3, the 3 to 4. These are called migrations, and we'll migrate them. Cool. SKSE. Remind me to load the game and not COC. And then watch the top left corner. I'll trace so that I can see that those error messages went away. All right, top left corner. Let's watch it. You can only make this requires spell tone variable with these colons in front of it. If you so obviously it didn't work. Let's add our tracing back. Let's trace on player load game and make sure it works. I don't think you can add that, but we'll find out. Compilation failed. Yeah, you can't do that. So this is a bool property. Doesn't need to be auto read only, but whatever. Not used, so none of them really need the default values. I just like setting them to nothing because they're not used anymore. So let's run and see if all we get on player load game, and then let's see if we get upgrade. Debug, trace, upgrade. Ooh, that's pissed. Auto. And this shouldn't be pissed anymore in a second. Like, it'll compile. It'll compile fine. Cool. Bug trace upgrading to V2. Compile one more time and run. And we'll watch the traces. We can connect as soon as it hits the main menu. Like something has the wrong ID and is returning none, or like what is the deal? First off, this is just really annoying. Probably accidentally called it var. Quest script. Yeah, I gotta get rid of that var. Cool. Alright, that'll fix that the next time. Let's look for loading game. We're supposed to get R's from our player script on player load game. We're searching for load and we're not getting it. And our player script is attached to our player, right? Like, should we go back into CK and make sure that that's the case? Are there issues adding something like on player load game to existing mods? I've got a little bit more time left. But I gotta bail soon. Gotta bounce daytime. The quest only initializes once. Quest only initializes once. Run once. It won't set the quest aliases. I might want to, from now on, no longer do run once with my default quests. Now that I'm learning. It's always easy to show people how to make Hello World quests that way. But, I didn't select anything. I need to select character quest. Add spell menu quest v2. Start game enabled. Quest alias. Ooh, we have to save it first. We can get rid of the reference here. Delete. Start game enabled. In this case, we have on init. It should run every time. If I understand how it works. I don't know if that's the case though. I really want to save before I do anything like that. Save. Working on view 1.1 upgrade logic. I want to be able to undo the changes to the ESP that we're about to make. So either I'm going to add another script, which is quest script, and see if it always runs its on init. Let's just find out. And we'll just call it like quest v2 add spell menu quest v2 script. I don't like it, but active quest because it stays active. See if it always runs its on init, even after a save game. Then on init. Debug message box. Hide from the quest. Save build. Run SKSE. I'm expecting to see it when we load the game. But if we save and load after that, will on init continue to run? It might not, but the player aliases will maybe keep getting hit. Quick save. No, but we can use the second quest for an alias. Let's get rid of, let's undo what we just did. And we'll make that, we'll add a player alias to that v2 quest. And we'll use that for our load game logic. We can always change what that load game script does, but we need to add one because right now we don't have a player load game. So I could probably never want to ship a mod again without a little bit of upgrade logic and a player ref for handling on load game. I think that's the big thing. Player ref hooked up to a script. And you don't have to do anything with the script. You can change the script over time. Quest v2, no scripts, quest alias, new reference alias. We'll make it our player ref as always. Player ref. And this will actually be our player script. Look up the player script to this and hit OK. Hit OK. Save. Now we can just run. Although we can make that a run once quest. That would be fine. It hooks up that player the first time, and that's all we need. We don't need on inits from that quest. It is a bummer having multiple quests. And I have learned that I no longer like the properties, like all those properties on a quest. I've seen people in their update notes when they're upgrading a mod point out things like that they like getting rid of quests that are hanging out in their mods, like try and have them have fewer quests. Load, but we won't load that autosave because the quick save, it already has v2. Here's the one we've been loading. Look at the top left. Nothing. Click to main menu and connect to the debugger. It's hooked up to our player script, which has this. Did I spell that wrong or something? On player load game? It's not like on load player game. I don't really think about this. Chill out, puppy. Why don't you come here? Did you just go outside? Alright, I'll pause in a second. And let me finish this. Paste. It's got the same damn name. Oh, it's a global variable. Cool. What the fuck? Fucking cars out there. If this is the first save game load where the event is being listened to and the event is on an alias and the alias didn't exist at the time the save was made, the player won't be on the alias at the time the event is sent. So the player quest alias gets filled after on player load game gets sent out to everywhere. So we do need a quest script, and we can just have the quest script and the player script be the same code. Essentially, they'll just call the upgrade. This should do it. This should 100% do it. So we're just going to add an on in it to a quest. Yeah. I mean, we could add it as an on in it to the player. I mean, that would work too. I mean, it also gets instantiated. The first time it doesn't get on player load game, the first time it gets on in it. Feeling good about this one. Feeling good about this one, y'all. This is the one. Come on, this is it. We're not gonna load the quick save because that had this. We're gonna load this one, the one that we set up. Watch the top left. Here we go. This is it. This is it. Upgrading to V2, add pack added. Pack. So it's got the stupid fucking spell tomes in it. That's not that big of a deal, but it's really kind of annoying. And we should really only add the take the tomes out if they've learned the spell already, maybe. Alright, fuck it. Let's give them all the items because we would need to check if they have the spells. Then we need to go get the form IDs of all the spells. It would be nice polish if we don't add the spell tomes if they already know the spells. And that would be really nice polish. When you equip the activator, it opens up the pack container instance, which is a specific object reference. Okay, and so it's the same pack container. Upgrade, that's fine. Our spell tome forms wrong? I don't think they are. That would make the most sense. It would make the most sense if we're saying container remove item none. Then of course it wouldn't remove them from the container. There's really no good reason for it not to remove those spell tomes from the container. D68 and D69. D68 and do spell function get list spell global end function turn get mod form. The list spell is 801. The search spell is 800. We could put the new tome in there, the toggle only spell tomes, whatever thingamajigger. I do have one thought. Can't remove an item from a form. Thanks, undo. Because really we should be saying get the player, get the pack, if player has spell, come on. Player.has spell, add spell menu forms, list spell, and if they don't have the search spell, we'll give them the search spell, or if they have it, we'll remove it, right? Why isn't it removing them properly? To AB silent it's not the user's container, so I don't think it would. The silence matters. I think that's only when it's the player as a container. So what the fuck? Let's wait a half a second before we add it after saying upgrading to V2. I don't know. Whatever. Object polish, although other mods, debug notifications could get caught in between there. Man. The F. That could be like the subtitle for all Skyrim modding learning. The F. So if you want to follow along, what I did was I went to the pack container and I removed the 4 items that were here, and now I'm going to add them to the instance. I think it's some kind of dealie with the base form. Come here, container. Can I give you an inventory? If not, I'm totally down with that. Totally down with that. We'll use code to add stuff, to add those tomes and the activators. Totally down with that. Do we have code in forms to get the, we've got the tomes, we've got the spells, Do we have the activators? There should be forms. We got the pack activator, but we don't have the form function get list activator form. Sometimes this stuff goes really well with JSON, in JSON files if you have Papyrus util available. So we are looking for the search activator is 807. List activator is 806. Okay. Okay. And what happens on upgrade is you get a new pack. That's it. Then we'll make our pack a little bit smarter, probably smarter than it should be. But here's what we'll do with our pack. We'll get the pack. If the player doesn't have the spell, for listing, then we'll add the list tome. If they don't have the search spell, we'll add the search tome. And we'll always add the activators, okay, if they don't have it. If not, player dot, can you do has item? What you can do is item count. Get item count. If item count of the AddSpellMenu forms for fuck's sake. What can I get? Something else is mad. Come on, dot get forms. I'm an idiot. List activator. If player get for fuck's sake. Get item count of this equals 0, and we'll put it in the pack. And we should clear out all the items in it first. Yikes. That's annoying. This is too smart of a pack. We'll just add all the things to it on initialization. That's it. Then we'll move some special stuff to our upgrade stuff. On initialization of the entire thing, of the quest, we'll do this kind of stuff. And we'll tweak it in on upgrade. Quest script on init. Quest forms, give them the activator form. AddSpellMenu. I don't know where to put this. Add items to pack. Function add items to pack. Pack container equals pack container instance. We always add all these items, always, at the beginning of the quest when you load up. You always add these items. Pack container, add item, add spell, menu, forms, list activator, search activator. We always do that. We should always do that. If you're upgrading, we're going to give you a new pack. But we're going to look and see if you've got stuff. And get the pack. If you don't have the list spell, and this will always be empty. This will always be empty when you get a fresh one. Which will have whenever you upgrade or when you instantiate the game. Because this is a brand new one when you upgrade. Because the form didn't exist before. It's a brand new form. We're good to go. We're good to go. What's that pissed about? Actor player equals game get player. If the item count for the list activator form is 0, give you a list activator, and we just do the exact same thing for search, and we're good. We're done. We're totally done. We should be good. Should be golden. We're golden. We set up a new pack for you and we give it to you. Done. You get it set up at the beginning of the game, and you get a brand new setup, one set up for you when you upgrade. And when you upgrade, and only when you upgrade, it only gives you the stuff that you don't have. Oh, you could end up with an empty one. So let's just check and see if you have all those things, then we won't give you the pack. That's the only other thing I guess I just thought of. And it shouldn't give you the pack at all if you have all those things. But you can't have the activators. You can't have them. We don't even need to check for the activators if you can have them, because you can't have them. We'll always add the activators. We'll add the activators and we'll just do the spell tomes a little bit more intelligently, that's all. But you can't have the activators because the form IDs are different and they disappeared from your inventory. And we would just put them back in your inventory, but SKSE and Papyrus doesn't seem to give us any way to see if you used to have them. If you know of a way, then let me know, because that would have been a much better solution, just to like see what you had and match that. If you had a spell tome, we'll give you the spell tome. Well, the spell tomes are fine. Upgrading, let's look in our pack. We have 1 spell tome. Sweet. We've got the 2 activators. Dope. Awesome sauce. Let's make a new game. Here's the new experience. You just install V2. Upgrading to V2. That's not good. Set it to 2 on instantiation. On instantiation. This should work, but we don't know if we can upgrade to 3, because I don't know if auto read-onlys can be upgraded. Hold on, baby, we'll go out in a sec. Calm yourself. We've gone out 3 times. I think she's just waiting for someone to get here. So we shouldn't see the upgrade in the corner. We should have a brand new pack. We don't see it. We have a brand new pack. Mine's got a brand new something to choose. And it's gone. Cool. Check the load game. I could have just loaded from there. So not used to playing. Upgrade. Right, that was the whole point. It doesn't get set until then. So we just gotta check and see if it's none. Because I think the problem is load game happens before the quest instantiation. And the best idea I have right now is put this on the player alias, because the load game appears to run first. So this runs first right here. This runs before this. We could have them both do it, but we could keep it on the quest. But let's just save it on the player. So on our reference alias, we're going to need a form for int current mod version equals int property auto. Upgrade and then change the version. Now let's just get a reference to the player alias and we should be good. We should be good. think you can get references to them. Could be wrong. You can get it through the quest. So we need the second quest v2. Go to wherever we have our quest. We called this this is just a quest because we didn't make a custom quest script. I get v2. That v2 one is 319. And we'll just get it as a quest. So we can get the player alias off of it. Current version equals AddSpellMenu forms dot quest v2 get alias by name player ref. Let's say add spell player script equals that as AddSpellMenu player script. If the player script dot current mod version is not 2, we'll upgrade. Whew. It's just annoying little what runs first. And if I were taking my time a little bit more, I would probably from all of my on-inits and my on-player loads, I would just debug trace like AddSpellMenu on player load, AddSpellMenu quest A on init, quest B on init, and I would just see exactly what the order is. See, like right now it's upgrading us. We could totally probably go back to what we were doing, and we'll just have I like it here because we have on player load game. Let's have a current version and a previous version. Previous only gets updated by upgrade. Previous will be whatever, and then after the upgrade completes, it'll set previous to current. Cool. If the previous version is less than 2, then upgrade to 2, and then set the previous version update up to the current version. I'm feeling good about this. Oh, it's late. I gotta wrap this up. COC Riverwood. Please work, please work, please work. I need you to work. I need you to work. Okay, let's say if there is a previous mod version and it's less than 2. So in other words, the very first time you run, if there isn't a previous one, then it won't upgrade. So if there is a previous number, and then in that case, if the previous version was less than whatever, 2 for us, and then we could do 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. Pack added, stuff, pack goes away, system load, shall save this one. So I should show upgrade. Oh, there's like a little fix. There's a mod that fixes that stupid blinking. Why would upgrade not run? Why would upgrade not run? Okay, whatever. If previous version is 0. Not equals 0. But there's no such thing as a previous version yet. And it's not a thing that you can check for none. When the game instantiates for the very first time, previous version and current version get set. When it runs for the very first time. Only when it runs for the very first time. No, not that, whatever the fuck that is. My saves are all like some dude, some chica, random Nord dude, some dude. These are all just, all I do is test. This is a load. Okay, I want to set this up with like a brand new mod. This is so fucking convoluted the way it is right now. I mean, what I have right now is a player script which has these 2 versions. There's no reason for them to be on the player script anymore because I'm setting them from the fucking quest script now. When the quest initializes for the very first time, so you're a brand new game, we set your current and previous versions and they're both identical. And then your previous version gets updated. Yeah, let's do this one last thing. Player script. On init of the quest won't run when we load. This will for v1. So we can say we can set the current one, just not the previous one. And we can do it all over the fucking place. Like whatever. It's the current one. Doesn't fucking matter. Oh, I really would love to do a mod now. I'd love to do a tutorial where we just walk through like making like 5 upgrades to a mod in like an hour and a half. Like this, but super focused and making the mod from the ground up to be upgradable. And then episode 2 of that series will include maybe MCM menu and uninstallation and stuff. So here's a fresh game. Cool, 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 cool. And here's the save. Save's gonna say upgrade. We got a new pack. We only got 1 spell tome. Alright, I'm done. I'm done. I don't have time. Alright, I'm gonna come back to this. We'll finish this later. Peace. Hello. It's the next day. So, I made things work. Hey puppy dog, you coming to join us? Did a bunch I ran into one funky bug at the end that I spent this morning debugging. There's a dog. And so I want to show you how to fix that, and then we'll release it. I feel pretty good about it. Here we go. So, things that I did. One of the things that I did, I gave everything a description, which is nice. Gave everything a description. Went through and did a couple things like marking properties that are no longer in use, just kind of deprecated so we know they're no longer in use, but we're keeping them there. Otherwise the logs will end up complaining. Is this one still in use? Yeah. Thought we changed this. Well, I feel okay shipping it. Pros and cons of properties and binding them to CK, which we are about to learn more about. So let me show you this funky freaking bug that I was running into. Freaking crazy. Crazy, man. Crazy, I say. Let me rebuild to make sure that I have old code with the bug. Alright, let's go. Let me show you what I made work. So if we start a new game, we go to Riverwood, we should get a pack. It should have all 4 things. There's our pack. It's got our stuff. We can save. We can load the game. We should have our pack. It's got the stuff. We can even quit out. We can go in. And this is someone that just installed V2 and just has V2 installed. We could load, go to that quick save we just saved, and we'll have all of our stuff. And it doesn't give us the notification because we already have the stuff, and we got the stuff in the pack, and it's still there. Cool. Now we can also go to load our all saves. I hate that flashing thing that the saves do. Alright, here's a save from V1. So we should see upgraded. Upgraded. We should have a pack. Now, this character already learned one of the spells and took one of the spell tomes. So in our pack, pack container not found in the world. Let me show you what's up with that. Let me show you another way to reproduce that. If we just go to load, I added that thing. If you couldn't find the container, I added a little notification that's like, hey, we couldn't find an instance of the container. And now we added the pack. This is from a brand. We exited Skyrim, we came back into Skyrim, and this is loading a game where V1 was installed, and now we've upgraded to V2. Now we got our pack with our stuff that we're supposed to get. Cool. We could save and load and this would work in this game. But if we do something kind of similar to before, but the opposite order, now we COC into the world. COC Riverwood. Pack has been added. The container, like the instance of the container is actually not there. And if we COC to merchant chests, that place that we added it, our stuff's gone. Our stuff's gone. Our stuff's gone. Took me a while to figure out what to do, and then I figured, well, we're doing this, we're making the mod in a really weird way, where we've got this. For all of our forms and our actors and our globals and our quests and everything like that, we've got this global helper script that gives us the instances of stuff, which is great. And actually for forms and globals, where is there more than 2 actors? There should only be 2 actors. Okay, good. For quest scripts, forms, spells, the globals, this is totally fine. And also, when we had our own cell in this game, I never remember running into any of this problem at all, but we were using this shared cell, this test cell called WE Merchant Chess. So I was like, maybe the game doesn't know not to clean up our stuff. So what if we just actually have some saved references? You could think of them as creation kit properties. We hook up some properties that hooks them up to the kind of the virtual machine and tells the game, hey, we're using these objects. They're in WE Merchant Chess. Please don't use them. Let's add some properties. So here's these properties. Let me just mark properties for mod versioning. I added the current version of mod and previous version of the mod properties to the quest script. It just felt like a better place than the player script. That just was wacky. And let's just say properties for actors and object references. So Skyrim won't clean up these resources. So we can just say actor NPC1. These need to be properties, so we can connect them to the virtual machine, connect them to property to CK. Object reference, we can just say object1. I don't really care what we call them. We could use these references, but right now I just care about making sure that Skyrim stops taking away my container. Stop taking away my container, it's mine. Don't do that. Compilation failed, already defined, what did I do wrong? NPC1, NPC2, cool. Like seriously, Skyrim, stop taking away my stuff. It's my stuff. Don't take it away from me. It's my stuff. Let's load it up. Move this while it loads. No. Fine. Loud, angry, audible bell. Cool. Now we just need to go to that quest and hook up the properties. We're going to need to hook them up to instances of things. So let's open up the cell. Wow, there's sounds outside. Whee! Cool. Here's the stuff that we want references to. Here's our properties window. So let's click on it and go to properties. And we've got this NPC1, NPC2, object1. We could give those decent names. We could do whatever we want, but I'm just going to do this. Pick a reference in the render window, and we can see that it picked inside of Merchant Chess the temp container blah. Cool. And if we wanted to do a drop down, we could try WE Merchant Chess. Reference. There's not a lot of things in there. There's trade spells. There's the other one. So we got the temp container and the trade spells one. And this one is an object reference. I wonder if you can also get a list from the drop down of all the objects that are in there. Cool, temp container. We could do that, or we could just do pick reference in render window. Boop, boop, double click on that, and we've got the container. So save. Let's move everything back to a sane kind of place. Hit OK. Hit save. Now we're not going to be able to reproduce that issue. I haven't been able to. Now that I have an audience, maybe I'll be able to. So the easiest way for me to reproduce it was to load a game and then COC. You can also COC and then load a game. But let's go to this one where this is one where someone had V1 already installed, and then we upgraded to V2, so we gave them a new pack. but only put in the stuff that they need. So there's that. Now if we go back to the main menu, this was deterministic. If you COC'd Riverwood and we don't have those references set up, the container will not be there anymore. Even though it says pack added, when we click this, container wouldn't be there. And the container is there. Container is there because we have those references set up. So we've learned a lesson. We've definitely learned a lesson about references. In some of my mods, I use all references and I don't do any of this get file from get mod form from file, and like we've got our form script. And let's try going to the main menu and loading one more of our games, or two more of our games, and make sure that they work fine. We'll go to the quick save, which is, we recently did this with just v2 installed. Cool, we've got our stuff. And if we go to merchant chests, we should see our stuff. I don't know why the NPCs aren't there. And I don't know if that'll impact anything. Let's COC to Riverwood again. Or we could just do it from there. I want to see if... okay. If you COC two merchant chests, let's go back there. It refreshes this area. This is going to be empty. I'm pretty sure that's an acceptable issue. Don't do that. But if we load the game, and we're going to load the same game without COCing there. Hopefully, it still has our stuff. Our stuff will just disappear if you COC specifically into that exact test cell. Maybe the test cell has some script associated with it that like clears it, but it won't get rid of our references. I haven't been able to get rid of those references. I played around with this a bunch, and I feel happy, and I feel happy. I'm not dead yet. I feel pretty stoked about it. We call these whatever we want. We could actually use them. I'm okay with us just having these references for the sake of the virtual machine not collecting them, or whatever is happening in Skyrim. Yeah. The only thing that we didn't do really from that list of ours, here's the videos, documents, episode notes, AddSpellMenu. It's obviously translations for us to cover. I found out because UI extensions has everything in a BSA, our loose files or our BSA will always override their magic menu, so folks won't get a conflict message actually. We made upgrade actually work. We don't show a message if you don't have like UI extensions installed or something, or if you don't have Papyrus extender installed. I'm okay with that. We didn't add these. It's up to you. I mean, they're pretty simple. Add spell menu. This would be our only global script that is not a script menu, script name that's not hidden. And then there would just be like a function search spells global list mods. It's really search mods and spells, or just search and lists. mod list, open mod list maybe. And search, like you can give it a query and it'll just already trigger the search without that search text box. Or if you don't give it a query string, it'll open up the text box maybe. Show mod list. Then there's also function toggle spell tome requirements. That's nice. It's nice. If you were using this, is there anything else you would want other than these three functions? For a weird Visual Studio Code bug, I'm going to put this first because its comments might not show up in other people's editors. How about instead of toggle, because that's weird. Set spell tome, set is spell tome required. Boolean is spell tome required. How's that? That sound cool? And for the search for show mod list, it's just whatever the effect does. It's just this. You just look at what the magical effects do. List mods. He could get his own gosh darn quests. We don't need this to be handed the quests anymore. But whatever. There's only so much cleanup that we need to do ourselves. AddSpellMenu quest mod quest. Oh, well, we can just pass it in. Let's just pass in AddSpellMenu forms quest. Come on. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Shavers, creepers. And then the search, to trigger the search, that's this, search mods and spells. Cool, paste. Oh, except what if a query is already provided? Well, that's fair. So I don't want to. I want to deal with that logic at all. Spell search query. Cool. And then do we have something for toggling these? We can just grab the form. We can just say if is spell tome required, else. Then we'll say add spell menu forms, get the global, set the value, which is an integer. If we want them to be required, then we say yes, it's required. Otherwise, no, it's not required. These aren't that useful if you don't get back the list of spells. We should just give them a reference back to the spell container. So we'll return AddSpellMenu forms dot that's the pack container. It's the trader instance that gets filled. Toggle whether only we could return a spell list, a spell array. Whether only, let me add comments. I decided not to do a spell array. SKC gives you nice utility functions for form arrays, bool arrays, integer arrays, float arrays, string arrays. Nothing like weapon arrays or object reference arrays or anything like that. And you can't cast a form array to a spell array. And that's the only way to create a dynamically sized array. And I don't want to give them back an array with 128 length that might be empty or have one spell in it. So it's a weird interface, but I'll give them the actor. They can use Papyrus Extender if they want to themselves. If they use the add spell menu, they probably are using it to use the search UI anyway. So search mod list. One of the things that our mod doesn't do is support giving spells to other players like your NPCs. I feel like that's a v3 thing. We might want to hold off on the global interface until then. Because we want to extend these with providing an actor. It's like actor spell recipient. It's a v3 feature, because I do want to be able to use this mod to give your NPCs spells. And so I feel like that's a v3 thing for sure. I feel like that's what comes next. There's more cleanup we could have done to this thing. I'm pretty happy with it. Ooh, if you don't have Sky UI, do we populate these actors? List chooser. Show spell chooser. Spell container. Just make sure that that'll work. So if we search mods and spells. Show the search results for the mods and the spell. We search all spells and populates a container with matches. And then we show the spell chooser, and it's the spell chooser which cares. So no matter what, we'll always have a spell container, which is good. Which is good. Cool, 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 cool. Okay. Save build. Cool, 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 cool. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool, cool. See, the first part of this video was an hour and 35. So we're just over 2 hours. What do we even call this? Performing mod version upgrades. Well, we certainly did that. We certainly did that. These can come with v3 if we want them to. Because I don't want to do anything really without showing y'all. This is a big v3 thing. Yeah. I kind of want to record a bunch of other videos, but part of me wants to ship v3 for NPCs. NP3 support. Did I say NP3? NPC support. I'm gonna drink my tea and record some videos. Post up this ESLified version because people want the ESLified version. And yeah, we'll tackle this later. Alright. Peace. That was a long one. We made it through. Thank you. We'll actually do like a I'll do an episode on versioning, and we learned so much stuff in this episode, like it'll be easier to make that. Yeah. Maybe I'll make that today. Alright. Peace. Bye-bye, y'all. Happy modding.